Hello, in this tutorial I will tell you how to create an animated normal map like this that you can use, for example, in a game engine. So let's delete the default cube, change the view to orthographic, delete the light, reset position and rotation of the camera, and change the camera to orthographic. Change resolution of the render to 1024 by 1024, which is, or any other power of 2. Create new curve. Rotate it and scale it. Apply rotation scale. Let me just shift the camera a bit. Place the cursor over the vertex and change origin to the cursor. Create a sphere and scale it down. This will be a drop. And apply the scale. Add the curve modifier to the sphere. Select curve from the list. We need to choose proper axis. And now, as you can see, the mesh will follow a curve nicely. We need to change radius on control points to 1. So all we need to do now is to move drop on y-axis. Open a second window with dope sheet. Let's add the shape keys to the raindrop. The base shape key will be the round drop. Second shape key will be the stretched thin raindrop. In the shape key editor, on the first frame, set keyframe. On the shape, set to 0. On the last frame, set it to 1. Set the first location keyframe. Move the raindrop down and set another location keyframe on the last frame of the animation. Let's change the shape key keyframes so that raindrop is stretched somewhere in the middle of the animation and is round again at the end. Add displace modifier and add texture for this modifier. Change shading to smooth. Rename the displacement texture. Go to the texture tab and change the size. Change the strength of the displacement modifier. We need more resolution, so add subsurf modifier. Place it before displacement modifier. Cloud texture should be a little bit bigger. Let's tweak the second shape key a little bit. We want the raindrop to be smooth at the beginning and at the end of the animation and displaced in the middle. So let's add keyframes for the strength value. Set higher value in the middle of the animation and lower values at the beginning and the end. You can copy keyframes in the dope sheet by clicking Shift D. You can modify animation curves if you want. Change the displacement texture's coordinates to global. Duplicate both curve and raindrop mesh. Modify the curve to make a slightly different path. We can subdivide the curve to make more control points. We need to get rid of the old raindrops location keyframes. Create new location keyframes for the second raindrop. Press the arrow button. This will show keyframes for only the selected objects and hide all the unneeded keyframes. I will scale down raindrops a little bit. Create more raindrops. When we've finished with the animated raindrops, we can add some static ones. With the proportional editing enabled in edit mode, we can change shape of the raindrops to a little bit more irregular. We can copy the mesh in edit mode so that all of the static raindrops will be one object. We'll need a lot of them. Place cursor in the center of the screen and add new plane. This will be a glass surface. I want the glass surface to be a little bit uneven, so for that I will add multi-resolution modifier and I will sculpt some basic bumps on the mesh. Of course, change shading to smooth. Because of the bumps, we will need to move the plane lower a bit. Okay, so how to create a normal map? One of the easiest way would be to enable a proper matcap. However, matcaps work with only one object selected at a time. Another obvious way would be to bake normal map. In order to bake normal map, we'll need to create a new plane, unwrap it, and add new image for it in UV image editor. So select all of the objects with the plane we will bake to selected as the last one. So the plane we will bake to needs to be an active object. Check selected to active and press bake. Normal map is baked, but it's a single image. In order to bake animated normal map, we'll need to enable animated render bake plugin in the user preferences. So let's press animated bake button and see what will happen. As you can see, there is an error message saying select only 2 objects for animated baking. And we have more than 2 objects. We have many objects and we cannot combine them, so we will have to find a workaround. Instead of baking normal map, we will render it using a camera. In Node Editor, enable compositing nodes. In Render Layers tab, enable normal pass. Connect normal pass to the image output. Hit F12 to render. As you can see, a normal map is rendered, but it's not a tangent space normal map. In order to convert it into a tangent space normal map, we'll have to use a little trick that I learned from some other tutorials. Add mix node, change it to multiply, and change RGB values to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Duplicate that mix node and change it to add. Leave the RGB values at 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. The last node is an Invert RGB. So now we have a tangent space normal map, but it's still incorrect. It's too bright, as you can see. In order to fix that, we need to go to Scene tab and in Color Management, change default setting to raw. One more thing I need to do is to invert a green channel, and that is because there are different standards for tangent space normal maps, and I am making a normal map for a Doom 3 engine, id Tech 4 engine. I will set resolution to 50% because I need only 512 by 512. I'll make a new directory and name the files drops. I'm going to save the files as TGA. We need to set duration of the animation. And we can render animation. Open Video Sequence Editor. Open the rendered video sequence. You can select all images by pressing A. Images will open as one strip. We need to make a seamless loop. In order to do that, we have to split the sequence into 2 halves. To do that, press K. Swap the 2 strips in a way that they will slightly overlap. We can then add a crossfade effect between them. Select first strip, then the second strip, and add effect called cross. I'm going to set a different output folder. Re-render the animation. And that's it. Thanks for watching.